It always starts with me with the ethical concerns, right? Using other people's information, biographical information, private, personal information without their permission, and capitalizing on it, marketing it. And that's the other piece. When you have this type of technology, as John said, November, October 2022, we don't have any strict regulations behind it for using it. And of course, when it's on the internet, it's almost like it's a free for all. Because even they're trying to do different types of legislation under social media as well. We're seeing that all the time. TikTok, yeah. Okay. So I mean, I always start with the ethical piece, and of course, it's definitely multidimensional. There could be something that happens that we never even thought about, and that could be another issue as well. So there are, like I said, it is good tool, but like with anything, there has to be some type of regulation in place. There has to be some type of order, because you will always have bad actors and people that want to exploit it and take it to the next level.
Yeah, I think, one of the things is, Hollywood has taught us what, or trained us to believe what we're going to believe about AI. I mean, you had the iRobot movies, you have the Terminator movies, and ultimately AI is going to kill you. I mean, that's what Hollywood has taught us. However, how many of us in the last 2 weeks have rode into Uber? Who do you think is on the other end of the phone when you call an Uber, or you order an Uber? That's AI. AI is completely running Uber. There's no operator on the other end waiting for you to say, hey, pick me up at this hotel and take me to the airport. That's completely done with an AI computer. We're putting in our heartfelt information. Here's where I live. Here's where I'm going. Here's my credit card. There's a balance that has to exist in the world of technology. Just like everything that if you think about it, everything about you can be found in a Google search, right? Because we've put all the things that are interesting to us in a Google search. There's a balance here. Google has to keep your information private, or you'll stop using Google. And that's the natural balance. If these tools start using your data in an unethical way, they're going to go out of business. So one of the things that they're constantly trying to do is to mitigate those risks. And those concerns are valid. However, you have to understand that we're in a new age here, and certain things will pop up. And when they pop up, we'll push them down, right? But in order to get to that point, we have to have this thing running in the public so we can see what those concerns are going to be. I don't fear the technology so much as it's not the technology, it's the hands of man that are the thing. And the key is, I mean, you're not going to change that. Yeah. That's just always there. There's always going to be some bad actors, but 98% of us are good and fair. And I challenge us to really balance our fears with that reality.
Yeah, but I will make a comment. This is kind of on the history side. I did this on one of my workshops. I talked about highway systems and how that relates to networking. When we started creating cars and we're driving, we're expanding on transportation, we're meeting people, we're doing this, we're doing that. But the issue was there's no highway system in place. Yes, folks, there was a time where there was no paved roads. There was no speed limit. There was no traffic lights. There were no seat belts. Okay. Do you see where I'm going with this? Yeah. So yes, we've got this great vehicle. We've got this great technology, but people were dying left and right. And yes, drinking and driving. Yes. So putting these things in place, regulations, I know that's a very iffy word, but having laws and regulations and things like that to set these boundaries to where, and then the whole highway system in order to, and I think that's the the way they should do that for AI, because it's expanding, it's growing, but there are no guardrails. There's no safety. And people can, as John said, we have bad actors. We have people that would exploit. And if they're going to do it, they're going to do it, but there's nothing to counteract that. There's no laws, there's no regulations in place.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the way that's how I'm thinking of it, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the magazine, I had mentioned that there were two writers who had written an article on Axios.com, and they had talked to basically the architects of AI, and they were saying, yeah, what's out there, like John said, what's out there for the general public is just small potatoes. But what they're using behind the scenes, the people who actually created these systems, they're the ones who are really saying we need to be careful. There do need to be laws or regulations, because the way that governments could use this, or people who have enough money to get access to these systems, they can affect elections, which they have said is possible right now and probably has happened. They're putting out misinformation. There are more ways to put out misinformation, more so than ever before. And that's what a lot of people are seeing on Facebook, on all the social media outlets, because you don't know where this information is coming from. They're creating fake videos now using AI. So they're saying, really, what we're seeing is not even at the level of what could be done, because there are, like you said, bad actors out there who will have access to these major, more developed, more high-end systems that could really do some damage, basically.